All right, so I'm bringing back one of my favorite things that I let go. But we're not talking about the past. We're all in the present and future, baby. So bring back word of you. The word of you. This is what's near and dear to my heart. So of course, some of y'all who are not familiar with it, I'll either talk about a passage or talk about a verse or something based in the word, and kind of give you a backdrop and what God shared with me, and just kind of like a mini Bible study. So today I'm talking about one of my favorite people in the Bible. Kind of, sort of. Next to, I love me some Paul. Now I love Apostle Paul. And then I think the next person would have to definitely be Joshua. If you don't know Joshua, I mean, you really have to study him. He was a young man. He came up under Moses, and he was part of the children of Israel. He was a part of the spies that were sent out, Joshua and Caleb, that were sent out to spy out the land that God had promised. And they sent 12 out, and only 2 came back with a report that, of course, that God, that the land was beautiful, filled with milk and honey, which basically means prosperity. The other 10 spies came back and said, oh Lord, they big, they we'll never be able to take over this land. And the reason that God sent them to spy out the land was not so they could determine, whether they were capable of taking it over. It was so that they could spy out the land, so he can give them the inspiration of what he wanted them to do to take over the land. So that's not this word of view, but I was just giving you a backdrop of Joshua. So Joshua and Caleb were the 2 that came back and basically said, this land is ours. Oh, it is everything that God promised it was. And I believe that was part of some of the things that Joshua, or that God showed Joshua and Caleb, what were the tactics and the different ways that he was the inspiration of how to conquer and take over the land, because it was an occupied land. So again, that's not the point of the story. So the children of Israel were not able to get into the promised land under Moses, because they murmured, complained, doubted, they didn't believe it. Joshua and Caleb were the next generation that raised up, and they were the ones that went in to take over the land. So I'm kind of here, and I'm kind of talking about I'm actually in Joshua 6. Read Joshua 6 when you get a chance. Read the whole chapter. It's only 27 verses. Come on. But it talks about the walls of Jericho, and that was the pretty much the protection of the city that they were trying to conquer, that Joshua and them were trying to conquer. And basically what God had them do was to walk around the city 7 times, praising and worshiping, and on the 7th time, the walls that were surrounding Jericho, the city that Joshua and them wanted to get in, fell. They crumbled. And so if you read that, that's just powerful in and of itself. There's so many different components of that. Just talking about the power of praise and worship when you're going through a situation, or just in general, how praise and worship and all of that just such a powerful passage to look at. But one of the things I wanted to point out was the last verse in chapter 27. And it said, and I'm reading from the New International Version. That's what my study Bible is. But it says, so the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame spread throughout the land. And if I had to, how I say, if I had to come up with a title, it would be Want to Be Famous? How often, or how much does this society put so much emphasis on fame and stardom and just attention, and all of that is geared towards making your own name great. All of that is based on your accomplishments. And to me, I just thought that was very powerful. If you want fame, God said it's not like you have to do it apart from him. You can be famous throughout your land, which is within your world, if you just allow God to lead you. So that, I mean, I can close this up because that was the moral of the word of you. I wanted to be real light coming back into it, but just allow God to be the one who makes your name famous. Allow God to be the one who makes your name great. And that's what Joshua did. And if you know anything about Joshua, if you continue to read his story, his name was great. He was a great warrior. He was a great leader. You know, everything about Joshua was highlighted and thought of to be, you know, really, you know, admirable, really nice. So yeah, you can have fame without God. That is a possibility, but that's also a fleeting fame. It won't last. It will be temporal. But when you allow God to direct your path, when you do it with God, it's just amazing. It will be everything that you dreamed of and everything that you hope for and more, because we were innately created to always feel like there's so much greatness in me. Like, ooh, I should be doing more. Like, people should see, people should know, all of this about us. We were innately created like that. And so God wouldn't just let that simmer down and do nothing. And if you allow him to, he'll show you how to pull that greatness that you have within you, that he put that in you. He'll show you how to bring that forth and allow him to make your name great and have fame throughout your land. So that's it. Again, have an amazing day, have an amazing week, have an amazing month, have an amazing year. Just be amazing. Thank you for watching.
Try to tell you that they better, but they failures and they own the enemies. Careful where you step if they're baller. And the vision that they better, but they failures and they own eyes. Never let them sell you on those old lies, those. When you gone, you the topic of discussion. I tell them that it's nothing. And the vision never will mirror, that you never